who are on Zoom as well as on the Hare Krishna TV channel. And especially in today's podcast, we would like to heartily welcome His Grace Mahotsaha Prabhu for taking out time and coming down here to spend a half an hour or more with us. So we'd like to thank him very much for taking out time for today. Welcome, Prabhuji. So this is a program which is being organized by ICC Book Marathon Committee, which is especially responsible for kind of promoting marathon within India zone. Uh, so this is a kind of program wherein which is meant to inspire and inspire the all India audience to take to this very important service of book distribution. So moving ahead. So today we have with us, as I've said, Mahotsaha Prabhu, whom you all must be knowing is the most famous and well-known personality as far as book distribution is concerned, and he is the top book distributor in the whole world, who has broken his records repeatedly, and the latest record is 4,211 books in just one day. And this is not those books which are sponsored, rather these are books that are distributed on road one-to-one. So it's really a great achievement that Prabhu has been accomplishing since the last many years, and so today we're getting a chance to interact with them. So definitely, it's a great privilege to have him here. So, Prabhuji, to moving ahead, I would like to, as so as to inspire, Vyasadeva Narad Muni has shared how he has come into Krishna consciousness. So definitely everybody's story about how they came into Krishna consciousness is very interesting and inspiring. So I'd like to know yours. How and when did you come into Krishna consciousness, and how did you get inspired to take this book distribution? So I'd like to know this, Rosie. Your voice is not audible.
Okay, is this good now, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so I'll just like to offer a prayer or two before I start. Is that okay?
Sure.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shrutafpata Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishavamsha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swamnati Namine Nija Guru Harivanya Krishna Chitto Vichinto Parihita Pitrigehadhyanda Samsara Kupaha Prabhu Bhajana Sukabdom Jayan Swamsa Vishwa Bhui Jayate Vikaso Bhakti Purvo Yatindraha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshatarine Vagisha Yasya Vadane Lakshmi Yasya Chivakshasi Yasya Hridaye Samvitam Nrsimham Aham Bhaje Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Shri Gurum Dinatarina Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So it's certainly an honor to be here. For someone insignificant like myself to have the association of all of you means a lot. But the way I came into I'm still not Krishna conscious. I'm trying to be. But the way I've come into the Association of Devotees, I was a student in New York University, and I was walking by and I heard them chant. I heard the Harinam party. And then when I heard the Harinam party chant, it was led by Ram Roy Prabhu. He's a close associate of Ayendra Prabhu and spent a lot of time in Vrindavan. I was just awestruck, by the chanting of the holy names. And I thought, this is the best thing I should do with my life. And, the devotees, I was getting in touch with them, and they invited me to come over and stay in the temple for some time. And I said, okay, I'll come for 2 days. I said, okay, can I stay for 2 days? And they said, okay, you can stay for 2 days. And then I went for 2 days, and it's been almost 10 years, and I'm still here.
Oh,
that's Krishna's mercy.
So great. And when did you start with this book distribution?
2014.
Okay, how was your first day on?
Well, it was quite spontaneous. We actually, I was a part of the Harinam party, but I was pretty useless at that point of time because of various substances that were still in my body. I couldn't keep a beat, so I couldn't keep a beat. So the Brahmachari leader, Ram Roy Prabhu, told me, get out there. He asked me to get out there. I said, what do you mean? I was sitting on the mat. He said, get out there. And he said, why, I don't understand. He said, get out there and distribute books. So I've never distributed books in my life. And he said, just do it. I said, okay. He's a very intense person, Ram Roy Prabhu. So, I was like, okay, yes, Prabhuji. And I remember I went out there, and the first day, by Krishna's mercy, I distributed 44 books. Out of the 44, 22 of them were a combination of Bhagavad Gita and Science of Self-Realization. And then the rest were like Perfectional Yogas. I remember one Higher Taste. I sold one Higher Taste, Perfectional Yogas, Bhakti Yoga, and I remember also I sold one Chant and Be Happy. But that's how it all began. I thought it was just going to be one day. The next day, I again sat down. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm just trying to chant. He said, no, go on, distribute books. And I said, do you want me to do this every day? And he said, yeah, I want you to do this every day. I said, okay. All right. So we can do it every day. And then it just never stopped so far.
Since then, it has been your very life. So
yeah. Whether I liked it or not.
So what does book distribution mean to you?
Well, it's the service to Srila Prabhupada. Book distribution is the topmost service. It's what Srila Prabhupada came to give. It's what all our previous acharyas want us to do. There's this famous this famous letter that Narottam Das Thakur wrote to Jiva Goswami. And I've read it out many times in the past, but I could read it out again.
Sure.
These are the scores. There's a title. It's on this website called ISKCONbookdistribution.com. And, there's a letter. It says, written on palm leaves, a letter from Narottam Das Thakur to Srila Jiva Goswami contains the annual book distribution scores for the year ending on Gaura Purnima of Shaka 1501 AD or AD 1579. And then the book distribution scores of Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda Pandit, and Srinivas Acharya there, and I could read them out real quick. These are the book scores of our previous acharyas, so we have to, take them seriously, right? So this is Srinivas Acharya's book scores. He said he distributed Bhagavatam with Vaishnava Toshini 6, Gyanananda Das's songs 23, Govinda Das's songs 19, Narottam Das's Prarthana 11, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1, Chaitanya Bhagavat 22, Lochan Das Chaitanya Mangal 6, Hari Bhakti Vilas 1, Murari Gupta Kadacha 1. Now, scores of Narottam Das Thakur. He distributed 2 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, 21 Gyanananda songs, 56 Prarthanas, 45 Chaitanya Bhagavat sets, 5 Chaitanya Chandramrita sets, and 34 Vasugosh Gauranga Padavalis, 34 of them. The Shyamananda Prabhu scores. He distributed 4 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, Gyanananda songs 10, Govinda Das's songs 11, other songs 34, Narottam Das's Prarthana 16, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 5, Ujjvala Nilamani 1, Chaitanya Bhagavata 25, Chaitanya Chandramrita 15, Vasugosh's Gauranga Padavalis 14. So then Narottam Das Thakur concludes his letter with the following emotional comment. Okay, so please, I request everyone to hear this. Until we are able to develop another type of technology to print the books, due to the difficulty involved in creating books by hand, which is being neglected, most of our book distribution program will be postponed. We are sure that one day some magnanimous person will come and will develop the movement of ecstatic love of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributing books all over the world. And who is that person? None other than His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah.
Until then, what will we, persons who are poor, bereft, and abominable, do? This is Narottam Das Thakur. And now this is really amazing, okay? This is like probably my favorite part of the whole letter. Some may say it's a little controversial for me to like it so much, but that's okay. So he says, what is the benefit of discussing the stories of the Lord's incarnations, worshipping the Lord's deities, giving musical recitations of the Lord's pastimes, chanting the Lord's holy names on beads, etc., when we have such small book scores? Right? So he says, what's the use of all this when we have such small book scores? Right? So Narottam Das Thakur is saying, what's the use of performing all this, chanting, doing a big drama, all this stuff, if he has such small book scores? So it is a desire of our acharyas that we distribute lots of books. So now that we are part of this Guru Parampara, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, it is our main duty. Many Prakrita Sahajas actually said that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is not following the 6 Goswamis who were living under a tree and just simply chanting and being absorbed in internal meditation. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told them that actually this kind of a conception is bogus. For what reason? For this reason, because what the Goswamis were really doing was they were actually studying and writing books in order for them to be distributed. Nana Shastra Vichara Naika Nipino Sadharma Samstapako. That the 6 Goswamis, they were very busily engaged in doing research work and writing all these various literatures. For what? For the deliverance of the whole world. Papo tapa nikrintino tanubritam govinda ganamritai. That in order to deliver all these conditioned souls of this day and age, the 6 Goswamis actually wrote down these books, gave unto us songs about Lord Govinda to deliver us from the cycle of birth and death. So book distribution is our very life, and so it cannot be separated. For one who is very sincerely a follower or sincerely a part of this Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, it is a part of our whole lineage. This is what we are here to do. This is what a Sampradaya is all about. It cannot be separated, just like the heat cannot be separated from fire, light cannot be separated from fire. Similarly, the spirit and the mission of book distribution cannot be separated from anyone who's part of the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya.
Yes, thank you for that, Prabhuji. And in this context, I just want to bring about one important thing is that in the current scenario, we see many different kinds of preaching methodologies that are coming up. Different preaching methods have come up. And even distributing books also, we have various different methods of sponsorships, Bhagavad Gita, talent exams, wherein the school students are enrolled and they are offered Bhagavad Gita and they study and give an exam. Through that, book distribution happens, and different techniques have come up for distributing books also and for preaching also. In the course of this, don't you think that slightly book distribution has taken a backstage in our movement as of now?
I would say so. To put it euphemistically, yes. But, yeah, definitely that has happened. And therefore, Shoaz Prabhu, who is our most worshipable, one of the most worshipable persons who resides in North America, he's the longest standing temple president in the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. I think he's been the president of Los Angeles for the past 40 years. And he told us that, I remember talking to him on the phone, and he told us that, he said, I thought that the old school style of book distribution which Srila Prabhupada taught us when we were his disciples, I thought that style of book distribution was going to die with us. But then he told us that, now I'm confident that you devotees at Krishna Life have taken upon the torch and are continuing the same style of book distribution that Srila Prabhupada taught us. So therefore, it is our mission over here to keep this alive and to keep this going. And other forms of book distribution are also most welcome, but the main thing is this is what Srila Prabhupada came to teach us, and this is what has the most amount of effect. And yena kena prakarena, yes, of course, we should distribute books in whatever which way that we can, however we can, and that's very important. But this tradition, aitihya, this tradition that we have received from our previous acharyas, that is very important, and we should keep it alive.
And Prabhuji, what actually keeps you going with such great enthusiasm that you distribute books every day and with hours together?
Well, first thing, Guru Vakya Parama Mahatva, that the topmost importance in a disciple's life is the order of the Guru. So because my spiritual master asked me to do so, that's one of the reasons why. And you can turn the camera just for a minute, Chandan. And of course, not just the order of my spiritual master, but it's all these fired up Sankirtan men, my dear God brothers and God sisters, around me, who keep me alive, we can show the Matajis also. Some of the Matajis are here, some of them are engaged elsewhere. But it's all these Prabhus here and all these Matajis here, they are very enthusiastic to push on the Sankirtan movement, so they somehow tolerate being around me, and they also help, push around. So all these things are there.
And we have seen devotees distributing all day long. I mean, who are standing all day long on the roads, but at the end of the day, they end up distributing maybe 20, 30 books. On the other side, we see people like you distributing thousands and thousands of books in a day. So, what do you think that makes the difference, and what do you advise these people to do so that they can also get to that? Because they are investing time and energy, but somehow they are not getting there. So,
you can come to Krishna Life Atlanta. That'll be a good start, actually. Okay. Please come down to Krishna Life Atlanta. That'll be one way of doing it. But then, the other thing also is, we need to strategize. We need to always strategize. You need to know where you can get the most bang for your buck. Where you can get the most bang for your buck. And also the spirit of meeting someone and loading them up with Prabhupada's books, that should be there. Then you see that, you only have so much time in the day to go out on books, give or take, okay, 24 hours, your whole morning program, all that probably takes you 4, 5, maybe 6 hours. And then you have to take rest, you have to bathe, you have to eat, you have to do all. So give or take, you have only so much time on books. So when you're out there, everyone you meet, you should try to give them as many books as possible.
Yeah.
And that works. And that's what worked for us. At least that's what works for us here.
Right. And Prabhuji, because you have been in India for the first 17 years, have you ever tried to distribute? I mean, have you ever had the experience of distributing books in India?
Well, Prabhu, when I was in India, I was taking full shelter of the 4 sinful pillars of Kali Yuga. I was a Mahabhakta of Maya, so I didn't really have that much. I didn't have any experience whatsoever, actually. But I remember I did go to the ISKCON temple, close to my house, in ISKCON Secunderabad. It's very close to where I used to live. And that time, my father did join me in the ISKCON Bhakti camp, and I did study the Bhagavad Gita for a good bit, for maybe a few months. And I remember I had bought 3 Bhagavad Gitas, and I went and snuck it in to my best friend's bags. 2 Bhagavad Gitas. I remember I snuck it in. And there's another time I distributed 1 book, but I prefer not speaking about that.
But after you have joined, after you joined the movement in 2014 and you started with book distribution, you must have come to India a couple of times. And have you ever distributed books here? And so that
right, so when I joined, I was 19 when I first came to India, and when I came to India after coming in the Association of Devotees, and I was just a completely spaced out guy. I didn't know what I was doing in India. I went on pilgrimage by myself, and I think I visited so many Upper Sampradayic temples, and I could write a book of what not to do in India. I did not have I didn't know anything. I was brand new. I was a bhakta. I was not initiated. I didn't know jack squat. I didn't know anything. So I haven't had any experience distributing in India.
Okay.
And if you want to know someone who's really distributing lots of Bhagavatam sets in India, you can talk to Jagan Mohan Prabhu and Samba Prabhu. They are both my god brothers. They are distributing lots of books. They are distributing lots of Bhagavatam sets. They're doing huge. I won't let them beat me, Krishna willing, but they're doing huge.
What do you think is the difference in distributing books in India and in foreign countries?
Well, the place is different, but other than that, it's probably the same. I don't know. I don't have an experience. We do distribute books to Indians here, so it's it's easier to distribute books to Indians than to Westerners. So I guess maybe then with that logic, you can say it's probably a little easier to distribute books in India, maybe.
And Prabhu, what is the goal of book distribution.
To make more book distributors.
Great. I mean, this you mean see it as the goal of your distributing books.
Yeah, not just that, to make more book distributors, and then, basically to Prabhupada, so once your Prabhupada was asked, you're distributing so many books, so many of your books are being distributed, but not so many people are joining. So what's the use? Prabhupada said, we don't care if these people join. Our goal is to educate the people. So our goal is by distributing books. That's why I don't distribute 1 or 2 books. That's why in our ashram, we have a joke, and it's a joke, that loose books are for neophytes, that we don't like to distribute loose books. We like to distribute stacks of books, because when you distribute stacks of books to people, the chances are they'll distribute it to their friends. So although they may be, whatever, karmi, whatever mode of life they may be in, still when they get Prabhupada's books and, they may give it to their friend, and unknowingly they become a book distributor. And you know what this means? If they do it as a karmi, at least in their next life, they'll do it as they'll come back and distribute more books to Srila Prabhupada.
And with the recent technological advancements, people are more inclined towards using the modern gadgets to read, browse through books, because it becomes very easy for them to mark, to highlight, and all of this. Then what do you think will be the future of book distribution? Because people are now kind of drifting from from books to technology.
I mean, there was this statistic that, ever since this Kindle and all this stuff came out, the sales of books are increasing. Actually. So the future of book distribution is going to be the past of book distribution, which is the present of book distribution. Actually, it's going to be a little bit more. We're going to be distributing more books in the future. So yeah, that's going to be the future no matter what. The Bhaktivedanta book class has to go on. You see, and it will go on. This is the heart of Srila Prabhupada.
Even in the recent past also, I mean, there are many technologies also coming up in the sense that BBD is also launching an application called Trans, and you must have heard of it.
Yeah.
Wherein people get access to many of the books. So in view of this also, you think that definitely there's a good scope for book distribution in future as well.
Yeah. I mean, how many people know about this app? And like so many people, so many karmis, like, what are the chances? You go to them, I'll tell you about an app. You have to download it and buy it on the spot. But it's better when you distribute books. They'll read it. And this is our experience, this is our opinion.
And Prabhuji, would you like to share some tips to the book distributors in India, and some last message that you wish to share with them, which kind of would inspire them for this book marathon 2023?
Yeah, you see, like, the technicalities we can always speak about, but there's a few things that, I would like to say, that now it's actually a very dark period in our movement, because so many of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada are leaving us. We had this good fortune of coming in touch with this great devotee, Charudeshna Prabhu. He originally joined in Atlanta, and he gave his life for Srila Prabhupada's book distribution. And here he is, he was the first person within our movement to distribute 200 books in one day. And Srila Prabhupada was so pleased with him that Srila Prabhupada personally wrote him a letter. So now he's in a nearby hospice, and we had this great fortune of going in, getting his darshan. And, when we were there with him, he told us went as a first group, a couple of us, 5 of us were initially there. And he pulled me, luckily by good fortune, I've known him, I've known him and I've associated with him a little bit. And he pulled me closer to his ear, because he's barely able to speak. And he said, never give up the service of Srila Prabhupada. And we told him that his sacrifice will not go in vain. His sacrifice will not go in vain. That so many disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they're entering into their Antya Leela. So it is our duty to make sure that this book distribution is well taken care of. They need to be confident this parampara is alive and well. and the way we do that is by pumping out books. Like for us, we are very one Prabhupada disciple, of course, with Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. He's he's a spiritual master of most of the devotees here, and he's very close with us. But another Prabhupada disciple who's very close with us is Kamalini Mataji. She's been distributing Srila Prabhupada's book for the past 50 years. And, recently she was chanting in front of the deities and she got a heart attack, and she thought that, better I die here, better I die in front of the deities. That way it'll be the most auspicious death for me. And then a devotee told her, what if it's a stroke? Then you'll be paralyzed for the rest of your life. But she said, oh, that won't be good. And she didn't want to go to the hospital, but then she said, I'll go to the hospital on one condition, that when I go to the hospital, should have books for me to distribute to the patients and the nurses and the doctors. So even when she just got out of the heart attack, she was still distributing books. So these great devotees are teaching us how to live and teaching us how to die. She was telling me when I was with her in her home just recently, she told me that, when she has 2 children, and she told her husband is a legendary cook, Apurva Prabhu. His feast used to blow the minds of devotees back in 1970. So they've gotten way better in the past 53 years. So you can understand how amazing of a cook Apurva Prabhu is. And he still cooks, born to cook for Krishna. Never got a job, just completely dependent upon Krishna. Dependent on Krishna their whole life. They have kids, they have grandkids, and they're happy in Krishna consciousness. So, Kamalini Mataji told her husband that, every time they would have to conceive children, it would have to be in such a way that she's not pregnant during the Prabhupada marathon. So they planned it in such a way, they had their kid before the Prabhupada marathon started. And when the Prabhupada marathon started, they would go inside a mall to distribute books, and Apurva Prabhu would be like cradling the baby and doing gugu lala, whatever, you do to kids. Like, we don't know, it's our good fortune, but, they were doing whatever he does to kids and like changing him and doing all this, while Kamalini Mataji was distributing books inside the mall. And then every time the baby had to take some food, Kamalini Mataji would go into like some secluded spot in the store, feed the baby, give the baby back to her husband, and still go out on books. So this is the sacrifice of our predecessors. We do not understand, what, like the sacrifice it took for us to experience what we're experiencing. What have our predecessors done for us? It all started by having what nowadays a whole bunch of people call the fanatical book distributors. People who are fanatical about going out on books, and people who are fanatical about, just like making this their aim and goal of life. We need a few good men, we need a few good women to come forward and sacrifice their life for this movement of Lord Chaitanya. This is what we really need. This is what actually moved the movement forward. This is what actually pushed the movement forward. When Srila Prabhupada came, he didn't do some watered down program, yoga, boga, or like he didn't raise a whole bunch of money and pretended like the books were distributed. No. Prabhupada had his people go out on book distribution, actually distribute books and get money for the books. This is what Srila Prabhupada did. And this is what has kept the movement alive, and it had the effect that it had. Nowadays, we're having so many young devotees who are just joining, and then taking on Krishna consciousness. Why? It's because they received a book of Srila Prabhupada in their past life. We're always, this net of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no one can escape it. So therefore, it is our duty to keep this alive. For the, just that, in one sense, our predecessors, the Prabhupada disciples, can know that, okay, the parampara is alive and well. And in another sense, also, Prabhupada said that if you distribute books, I will live longer, I'll live longer. So you want to keep them with us as long as possible. And the best way to keep them with us is to increase this book distribution. This is the formula that Srila Prabhupada gave us. So if we at all care for our predecessors, if we at all want to have that association for longer, we should do whatever it takes to distribute these books. More and more. So I could tell you, say hi, say bye, and say you look like this and you look like that. But this is the essence of it all. If we make this one with our hearts, then we'll get unlimited inspiration, unlimited lines, unlimited tricks, unlimited money, unlimited followers, unlimited whatever you want. We just have to come closer to the Guru Parampara. We have to come closer. That's the point. Not this, not that, not all of this other stuff. But, just focus, keep Devasayatmika Buddhi, Eki Hakurunandana. That, if we simply do this, but then we'll attain all perfection.
Truly inspiring.
Yeah.
So it's very inspiring to meet you, Proj, and hear these inspiring words from you. And definitely it was a great meeting wherein we got insightful presence into your book distribution experiences. I mean, just one last thing I would wish to hear from you
Yeah. Sure.
before we finish off. And um, one memorable experience, some book distribution story that you must have. People usually call that book distribution story. One memorable story that you went personally through.
Okay, so this Jacob coming. So this is our Bhakti Jacob. He's he's 18, or like you're 19 now.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, so when he was 18, he had come. Okay, yeah, you can. Chanda, you might tilt it a little bit so they can see him also. So he was there with me. So Kamalini Mataji told us about this event. Kamalini Mataji is that great book distributor who we worship. So she told us about this event very close to her house and asked us if we want to go to that event to distribute Prabhupada's books. And she told me that in her entire life, she had distributed 14 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, and almost all of them, I think all of them were to devotees. So she told me that I want to distribute a Bhagavatam set to a karmi. Can you please fulfill my desire? Obviously, we told her, your wish is my command. And we had gone and we started distributing Prabhupada's books. And I started we got out there and I distributed like 2 or 3 Bhagavatam sets already. And it's all Westerners, and like we got out there, I distributed 2, 3 Bhagavatam sets already. And then, Bhakti Jacob, this was his first time out on books with me, in North Carolina. And then that time, Bhakti Jacob saw this guy, and you can speak, or you can tell him one.
So I saw this guy. He was wearing a spiritual shirt, I guess you can say. He was wearing like a lotus flower, and I saw him, and I was like, as soon as I saw him, I told Mahotsaha Prabhu, I was like, this guy right here, he's the one. I saw him. He's the one who's gonna take the Bhagavatam. I saw him. I was like, because Mahotsaha Prabhu, he's a really fired up, great devotee who distributes a lot of books. So he really, like, when you're with Mahotsaha Prabhu, you just have like this energy where you can just distribute books and books and books. You just have this high energy.
That's how he's in Maya.
So when I'm with him, it's like I feel really inspired to distribute books. And then we were just like, Mahotsaha Prabhu told me, like, just try to distribute as many Bhagavatams as you can. Try to just present Bhagavatam all the time. I was like, okay. So I was suffering a little bit, and eventually when I came across this guy, I saw him and I was like, I know this guy is the one. So I presented him Bhagavatam. I really like sold it, and then he wasn't really so convinced, but I told him, because he was like, oh, I can't really take Bhagavatam because my wife, I have to talk to my wife, and he was making these excuses. But I told him, I was like, look, when's the last time you ever met monks, and when's the last time you ever came across these amazing books? And he's like, this is my first time. I said, okay, look, just do it one time for the one time. You miss all the shots you don't take, God likes to help those who help themselves. So just please take the Bhagavatam. It's the most nectarian thing you'll ever experience in your entire life. And after that, he just a little bit more convincing. He
prayed to Prabhupada.
I pray. Oh yeah, that's true. He had this like Om. He was like, he like meditated on Om, this Om sound, and then he started playing it in my ear. And when he started playing it in my ear, I started praying to Prabhupada, saying, please help me, Prabhupada. Please let him take the Bhagavatam. Please. And a little bit more convincing, he took the Bhagavatam. He gave 315, I think. All just boom, took the Bhagavatam.
And that very day, Bhakti Jacob distributed another Bhagavatam. You can say now. And that very day, Jacob distributed another Bhagavatam set. And at the same time, on the same day, Kamalini Mataji also distributed her first Bhagavatam set to a karmi. And then, she was crying. after that. She came to me, she's like, I can't believe this happened. This is so nice. I said, okay, you owe me all your blessings now, and then, and it was really amazing for me to see, like, this brand new Bhakta who's like, who's 18 years old, who just, got off the Bhakta program. Oh, there, Kamalini Mataji is giving us her darshan. So there she is, so, she can say something. She's on the Zoom call, but, it was so amazing for me to see, like, someone who's 18, brand new in Krishna consciousness. In 3 months, he came and, like, he, our very amazing Bhakti leader, Chandana Acharya, he, what did you tell him? You told him, like, I don't know what he told him to join, but, like, he just, like, gave him the nectar and made him join on, and then he just hopped in the van with us and came back to the temple, and, like, he just never left after that. And, it was amazing for us to see, that the someone who's been distributing books for, like, who just started, who, on his first day, can you imagine one of your first days on books, full day on books, you distributed 2 Bhagavatam sets. That's freaking amazing. And the next day, Jacob, how many did you do? Yeah, the next day he did 2. You did 3. Yeah, you did 3. He did 3 Bhagavatam sets the next day. And then that whole week, when we were together, on the whole, I think he distributed, like, in 2-3 weeks, like 14 such a Srimad Bhagavatam. And that was amazing. I mean, it was amazing for me to see Kamalini Mataji, and, Bhakti Jacob distributing Bhagavatams. And I distributed a few also, by the mercy of Kamalini Mataji was right there next to me, by the mercy of my spiritual master, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. But yeah, I think Kamalini Mataji is trying to say something. You can see her name is Kamalini Devi Dasi Darling. That's her.
Your inspiration.
Okay. You should tell them what the event was. You said we went to an event. Tell them the name of the.
Yes, Mataji. So the name of the event is Body, Mind, Spirit Expo. And it's like a place where, like, the pseudo spiritualists of America, they all come together to be spiritual, and they get everything which is not spiritual in the name of being spiritual, and they get our books. Then that changes their life.
Yeah. And Bhakti Jacob, what I never saw anybody, he so much imbibes the mood of Mahotsaha. He tries to talk just like him, walk just like him, dress just like him. Like, he really wants to have the same potency. And he was only 18, when they're traveling I live north of Atlanta, and they stay with us at our house. And then Mahotsaha always has the bhaktas clean our bathrooms. And he made Jacob.
I clean it too. I clean your bathrooms too,
he
Mataji.
it too.
Come on,
But
not...
they
like the tyrant guy.
They're always so eager to render service, and all of them are very cooperative and submissive to their temple president, Vishnu Chitta Prabhu. And yeah, we always feel extremely fortunate to have Mahotsaha Prabhu's association. You have to see him in action. Like he said, devotees have been coming from South America, from Europe, going there just to get trained. Devotees who also never distributed many books or Bhagavatam sets. And they come and distribute with the devotees from Krishna Life Atlanta and get so much inspiration and ability to do it. But we see how strong the Mahotsaha Prabhu's desire is. I just saw, I'm in our temple hall right now, and I have a book table, but here's the temple book table, and I saw this little sign on the table. It's, maybe you've seen it before, and it says, "Assume it can be done." So so that's the thing. Mahotsaha Prabhu totally assumes it can be done, whereas others of us think impossible. How can you distribute a set of Bhagavatam on the street? And just to get Lakshmi, like to get $10 American dollars for Bhagavad Gita, it's like pulling teeth. But to get $300 on the street in a Walmart parking lot, it's like inconceivable. But he assumes it can be done, and showing that it can be done when breaking all limitations. So yeah.
So yeah, it's you realize we get the Shakti from cleaning Kamalini Mataji and Apurva Prabhu's bathrooms. So that's
That's
real.
what Jacob said when he distributed.
That's true.
That. He
That's true. That's true.
said that's why, because of that humble service,
And then both of you come in, Abhi, Matsya, come in. And like these two Prabhus also, they're the big guns of Krishna life. Matsya Prabhu and Abhimanyu Sutta Prabhu, they're always competing, to who's going to distribute more books. But yeah, they distribute lots of books too. And these are my most memorable experiences to see them. I was there when you distributed your first Bhagavatam set too, right?
First Bhagavatam, first up there.
Yeah, these are all memorable experiences to actually see these devotees distributing these books, It's them, so.
And Abhimanyu Sutta is a third generation devotee.
Yeah.
His grandparents are Prabhupada disciples. So that's really because we thought all of our children were going to be like him. And
Wow.
and
Really?
we know that it's rare. I thought our sons are going to be the temple presidents and sannyasis, at least brahmacharis. And, I thought that's how it was going to be. The youth were going to be like we
And we
were.
are your sons and we are like that, so it's fine.
Yeah, but it's rare. Krishna life is rare. In America, I know in India, the temples have like 300 brahmacharis, but here you're lucky if you have one or two or maybe three brahmacharis. I know San Diego has a few, but most don't even have any. And even then, it's not like the real brahmacharis like Krishna life. It's like
the real one.
yeah. So anyway, it's like a whole revival there. And I think it should be the headquarters for the Bhakti program and Bhakti program.
Wow.
Everyone should send their devotees there at least for a couple of months. So yeah.
Jai Prabhu.
Jai Hare Krishna.
And it's really inspiring to hear both of you speak and to see all devotees enthused and enthused to distribute the mercy of Srila Prabhupada in form of his books. And the way, the kind of atmosphere and the energy that you have created there in Krishna Life Atlanta, that's really inspiring. I hope and pray that all the viewers now and all the distributors who get to see this video, they'll derive this sort of an inspiration and energy by hearing your words. And it's really inspiring to see Mataji is also here. Your inspiration, your inspiration is also right here. So it's really great to have her also here. And I would like to thank Kamalini Mataji for gracefully coming down here
and blessing us all.
Like my husband just said, wow, Mahotsaha is awfully generous because he doesn't really know all my faults, that I have lots of faults. But Mahotsaha was talking about his memorable experiences. Well, I think one of them, when he actually had COVID, like a few of the men got COVID and he was really sick. And then he said, but wasn't the marathon? I have to do it. Remember, you told in
the
LA.
thing was everyone else got COVID. I didn't get it.
You did, but
get it. Yeah,
you were worn out, right?
You're tired, man.
And then he still got up. He said, I have to go. I have to do it. And that's the day you distributed many, many books.
Yeah.
That's memorable to me.
Definitely, we are very blessed to have association of such great souls like yourself, Mataji and Mahotsaha Prabhu. We'd like to thank you for taking out time and speaking out your experiences, sharing your realizations, and inspiring all of us with your words and your realizations. Thank you so much. And we really look forward to have your association once again.
Jai.
Thank you.
Hare
Jai.
Krishna. Shri- Taking over the world with Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada 2023 Marathon Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare.
Krishna.
Jai.